Well, hello folks. Today on JR Jeep we are installing some Aries Fender flares or flare liners in the back of my JK. I installed Aries Fenders a couple weeks back, and I probably should have waited because I wanted the I was impatient and put them on and used the old Fender liners, which was not a great experience. So right now, what we're doing is everything is off. You're seeing the new Aries liner on here. I'm going to grab a couple square nuts, which I have to use to secure the back of it, and then put that on. Then we're going to put everything back together again. Okay, so I had to do a little modification. The square nuts weren't working that well, and instead of playing around trying to figure it out, these are rib nuts all throughout here holding this fender on. I just decided to put rib nuts in, the two support points. It's going to make it a lot easier to get in. If I have to make it more secure for some reason later on, I could always do so. I think this is just the best option. So at this point, we're just getting these bolts started down here. Okay, so we got those started. And now what we're going to do is just secure in place with a couple of the bolts, just so it lines up well. The inner liner. Okay, and at that point, we're just going to tighten up these lower bolts now. Actually, this is just a 10mm socket. Okay, so we got those in. At this point, we're going to take these bolts back out. Okay, and with the inner fender flare, M7 bolts came with it, but these are longer than the ones I originally put in the fender, so make sure you use the right ones. So I'm going to go grab those, then grab our fender, get on here, and start putting it back together. Okay, so we have the Aries Fender flare. Going to get bolt ready to go here. Now, definitely, this would be something easier if you had an extra pair of hands, of course. I'm not that lucky today, so we're going to make do. But the fender itself is not that heavy, so generally I don't think it's going to be that big of a pain. Reel with this is more or less, once you get one on there, it gets a little bit more easy, because then you can line the other ones up. Nice thing is with these fenders and flares, they do line up pretty well. I have done other fender flare installations in my front of my Jeep, which I really love the product. It looks great, but fitment, as far as body line was fine, as far as drilling holes in that was a lot more involved. So just something to keep in mind. There you have it. There's the installed flares. And just in case you're wondering, the bolts I was having issues with were those in the base. That's why I use the Rivet Nut tool on. So everybody, you've heard me mention a few times when doing the install on this Jeep that I've used Rivet Nuts. It's a great option for some areas on your car to make it very easy to install pieces of equipment like fender flares and have them on fairly secure. So you may be seen things like this before. That is a Rivet Nut. They come in various sizes. They are threaded. And companies that send you fender flares and that a lot of times will send you this little tool that looks like this, and that also has a washer that you can use with a socket wrench and open end socket, but these can tend to be frustrating. I've seen many videos where people are rather upset trying to put these on. So it sort of depends your patience level and how you want to get this done. I would say if you're a very patient person and you don't mind spending the time, great option. If you aren't a very patient person, I would definitely go with a Rivet Nut tool installer. These are not by any means that expensive. This kit I got on Amazon. You can see they have various tips that are included in here for various size rivet nuts. What this does is you basically open up the tool, screw this on, and in the area that you've made the hole large enough to accommodate the rib nut, you stick this in, and then you just compress the handle, and you open it back up, so it'd be more like this. You put it down, you're going to feel some pressure, continue until it goes down. Then go open it up, a couple of turns, and continue that process maybe 2 to 3 more times, just every time tightening up a little bit more. And you'll feel when it's really tight. At that point, you just unscrew this. And that would have the rib nut in that hole, and then you could just insert the screw that you need to in there and lock it down. So it works really good. Again, rivet nut tool. Many places have options for these. This was through Amazon. Harbor Freight sells some that I saw were very reasonably priced. Just take in context maybe your next Jeep project. Tool to make it a lot easier for you to get things done. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for tuning in and watching today. I hope you found this helpful somewhat. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up in the video and consider subscribing to the station. I will have more upcoming videos, both on upgrading the Jeep, some cooking stuff. I'm a retired chef in the past, so I'm going to try to share out some recipes that might be good on the trail, things to consider. So look forward to that. And then hopefully this summer, I'm going to be doing some driving on some trails, hopefully with some friends. So you have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for tuning in.